Hello and welcome back to Sea Power. Today we're playing one of the standard missions that comes with the game when you buy it. This one's called Charlie's, and I recommend this NATO mission for learning how to conduct anti-submarine warfare with a surface action group without the assistance of larger platforms like the Tarawa or a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, for example. You know, if you just have a surface action group made up of a cruiser, a destroyer, and a frigate, like in our example today, this is a great practicing tool for hunting submarines. Our mission is to find and sink a group, more than one, enemy submarines that are heading towards us. And that's all the information we have. So we have
multiple surface contacts detected.
A couple surface contacts. Okay. So here we have the Tucker. And we have S-Cone, which is a very capable Perry class. Let's go ahead and get some aircraft airborne here. So your SH-2F helicopters are defaulted to anti-submarine warfare, so I'm just going to launch one of those. The Tucker should have one as well. No, he does not. So they have room for two helicopters, but they don't have any assigned in this scenario. That could be a random starting position as well. And there, it looks like there is one helicopter on our cruiser. So we're going to go ahead and launch him too. So we do have one helicopter on the frigate right here that is in reserve in this hangar. He's not moving. As you can see, we already have the towed array out. Let's see what other sensors we have. All right. Now, you don't want to be doing a ASW search at your flank speed. We're doing 19 knots. It's way too fast. So as a group, I'm going to give the order to slow down to head 1/3.
Head 1/3. Maneuvering aye.
We're going to just do, quick passive search. Give us a few minutes here and see if we hear anybody passively while we take our helicopters off. So some of the ASW weapons you'll have here is the RUR-5. This is the rocket-powered, or rocket-launched torpedo. So this one will go out a couple miles. I think it says 16, but we're going to verify that. RUR-15 has a range of 6 miles, not 16. 6 miles. So
7004 is classified. Neutral air.
all right, so we got some neutral air coming up from behind us. Man. We're already overhead. So what I'm going to do with the task force here, I'm going to take my most capable ASW asset.
New submerged submarine.
There they are.
Contact detected.
Okay. We don't have any friendlies in the area, so we're going to mark that as hostile. We are going to immediately engage him with a single. Oh. We're outside the range. Okay. So we're going to get this helicopter, make sure it's in the air. It is. Send him that way.
Turn 275.
Now the entire formation. Now the helicopters are
Roger. Turn
launched.
25.
It's going to head to the northeast.
Turn to course.
We're going to head away from contact.
How am I?
We're also going to put a range circle around him, around the detection. And we were detected at 14 nautical miles. That is typically, in deep water, this could be bottom bounce. But it's probably a CZ, yeah. Probably a CZ. Probably first CZ right there. So we're going to go ahead and mark that position. The contact's already faded, but it's marked with a circle. So we're going to go ahead and get some aircraft out on it. All right, let's go ahead and increase speed for the group to a head standard.
Head standard. Maneuver. Roger. Turn 263.
All right, so here is our helicopter. He's closing the approach of the detection. Now I'm assuming we heard this, but maybe we didn't. Did he light off his submarine, his radar rather? No, we detected him on our sonar system. He was making noise. Okay. These are all the possible classifications. Charlie 1, Charlie 2. I know it's one of those two. So the big thing with ASW warfare is you really have to have patience. Don't try to force anything. What we don't want to do is force contact or force closure after contact. We have one detection. We're going to prosecute that while not closing range on that position. We don't have anywhere in terms of mission to be at any time, so we're free to maneuver however we want, and maneuvering to the northeast makes sense. Now the Charlie probably has a torpedo range of 16 nautical miles, and we're right outside that at 14.5, so opening range 4,000 yards would put us outside his weapons range. Now his anti-ship missiles are a whole different story. He does have some long-range anti-ship missiles. So the submarine detection was right on the other side of this merchant that's right here. I'm going to go ahead and drop 2 sonar buoys here. That's going to be below the layer because he went deep.
Roger that.
Nope. Oh boy. Cancel that. Did not need to launch all those. That's a pattern. But we will do this. What I'm doing here is I'm setting up a fence that if he crosses we'll hear him, including a torpedo. Your fence can be much more than two of these sonar buoys. Now, since we have such a good position on him, I'm going to drop 1 passive sonar buoy. Pretty much right on top of him, right here. We know that he was there approximately 3 minutes ago. It's really important that you write down the time. I didn't do that on this contact. But you see how the contact's already faded? So the area of uncertainty is not changing, but in reality it would be. So you want to keep in mind what time you detected him, what time he faded, and then keep an eye on the clock in the upper right-hand corner to keep track of that delta, that change in time. And what you do with that time is you take his maximum speed, which he's clearly not going, but if he were, and you multiply that by the time to get the distance of the area of uncertainty. So being a Charlie, his maximum speed we'll say is 25 knots. So his area of uncertainty will be 25 nautical miles, which is 50,000 yards, in 1 hour. So you can just divide that by however much time you have. It's been 5 minutes. That's the first buoy right here. So the first buoys we're laying down are passive. The second buoys we lay down will be active. If you lay down passive buoys below the layer, lay down your active buoys also below the layer. Keep those the same for your pattern. This merchant is running right over where his position was, so this will be an interfering acoustic contact. That's part of the reason why I'm putting this fence right here. Yeah, this poor guy, he has no idea what's going on, but there is a Charlie hiding very near him, using him as a masker. Masking the noise of the submarine with this very noisy merchant.
Buoy away.
Okay, so our 2 deep passive buoys, the fence, are set up. I'm immediately going to complement this with 1 active one. Below the layer, SQS 62. We'll put that right here. This will get his attention for sure. The submarine will hear this active. We may not hear him, but he'll hear that.
Buoy away.
Okay, it's our passive buoy right here. We just splashed one down. We'll give that a few seconds to see if it has any detection. Honestly, I don't expect one. But we are going to wait a minute. Something that's important to know is the submarine can also hear the helicopters. They can hear them in transit. They can hear them when they're hovering. So they know they're being hunted. They'd likely be moving away from the sound of the helicopter, which is why I'm keeping the helicopter near the buoy.
Buoy away.
Now that's the active one that's just dropped. I'm going to wait and see if this active sonar buoy, once it's deployed to its depth, if I have a detection. It's down here. And it should start pinging active here in just a minute. Okay, there's no detection there. We're going to go ahead and launch our own active sonar buoy deep. Right there. We're going to change our passive sonar buoys to shallow, above the layer. And we're going to launch a pattern
Confirmed.
right there.
Buoy away.
Launch the buoy right there. Now that's an active sonar buoy. I do expect to get a detection off that. We'll set our next one for above the layer. So how deep is this one? This one's very shallow. No, it says 450 feet because it's below the layer. Okay. Excellent. Same with this one. So the layer is about 400 feet, 450 feet or so. That means we should have a good surface duct. It's possible that our initial detection was on surface duct. Yeah, instead of CZ. Depends on the specifics of the conditions. So let's verify this is above the layer. It is. I'm going to put another active buoy above the layer very close. So right here. I'm also going to detach our best submarine hunter, the Perry, from the formation. So let's go to formation. Let's go to leave formation. Okay, this guy is on his own now.
Turn to course. 27.
And make sure he's responding to orders, and he is. All right, once he's turned around, we're going to use his sonar system to assist our aviation assets.
Buoy away.
All right, that's the shallow active buoy.
New submerged submarine.
Got him.
Contact detected.
Okay, so he is shallow.
Roger. Turn 1. Buoy away.
Mark him as hostile. We're also going to mark the time. So it's 12:53 was the initial detection. And I'll put a little S next to it for shallow. I'm going to set our passive buoys to shallow. They already are. Awesome. We are going to drop one buoy right on him here. I do it a little bit in front of him because by the time the buoy gets deployed and powered up, radio linked with the helicopter, the submarine will be a lot closer. Okay, so the purpose of that sonar buoy is to track the torpedo that I'm about to drop, and we just lost contact. He might have gone deep, I'm not sure. But we are going to engage with one Mark 46 torpedo, single shot, on the target. Okay, so 12:54. After 1 minute after initial detection, we have weapon in the water. I'm making a note here on my notepad with the letter T next to 12:54. Now, if you look at the yellow line, the AOE had changed position, which means that we had a second detection. And the torpedo is looking for contact here. It's getting down on its depth. And it looks like it might already have a target. We can see the submarine, but the torpedo apparently cannot. Oh, there it goes. Maybe it can.
Hit track 7006.
Excellent. So he's dropping noisemakers. He has lost positive buoyancy. He's sinking out. His sonar system is definitely damaged. And this may not be recoverable. Alright, we're just tracking him. So let's go ahead and get ahead of him a little bit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and slow down our contact here. Let's go navigate, change speed to head 1/3.
Maneuvering eye. On station.
Okay, so we have lost contact with the submarine again.
Buoy away.
I'll see if I can establish contact with
Air search on.
him with
Radar
our
eye.
frigate.
New air. Contact
I'm letting off all of the radars on the frigate,
Surface search on. Radar eye.
including medium frequency active sonar.
Transmit active sonar. Sonar eye.
Alright, I'm going to get a replenishment helicopter up. And we'll drop another weapon on him.
Engaging track 7006.
This is his last weapon, so he will return to base. Oh, check fire.
Ceasefire track.
Yes, the Charlie sank right as we were doing that attack. Excellent. So we don't have to return him. We don't have to use that last weapon after all. Alright, we'll put another active sonar buoy up here. Just kind of get the big picture here. We're between Scotland and Iceland in the GI-UK gap. I have my task force
Turn to course.
start transiting back.
266.
I'm going to use our frigate kind of as a front, as a vanguard to escort them. This guy's finishing up his buoy pattern here. Excellent. How's this helicopter? Is he... we'll wait for him to get spun up. Once this pattern is finished by this helicopter, I'm going to put one more active sonar buoy down to the south, near and behind this merchant. All right, how are we doing over here? Is he in the air? He is in the air. Okay.
Roger. Turn 29. Buoy away.
Once this active sonar buoy is down, I'm going to put a pattern of 9 SSQ-53s up here in the northern sector. I'll be transiting Task Force 1 north of the Charlie 2 position. The reason why I'm doing that is I've already got a good area here just north of him. So I'm going to extend that. We know this is a safe area to transit. There's no detections there. If there is a submarine in this area, he's dead in the water. But our active from the ship here would be seeing him probably. There are things called shadow zones where they could be hiding. There's not much we can do about that, so we just continue on as if we do have detection right now. All right, so that's the last one there. I want your sonar buoy. I want this one to be below the layer, and I want it to be right here. Alright, so this active sonar buoy is above the layer. And finally, he's going to put down a very large passive sonar buoy field right here.
Confirmed.
Perfect.
Surface search on. Radar eye.
Just helping him out a little bit. Tucker was going to go way too far behind Stanley. Actually, I'm going to slow Stanley down because of it. Tucker's trying to get in position. I'll make that a little bit easier by changing the speed of the entire task force down to 5 knots. Head 1/3.
Head 1/3.
Tucker will stay at high speed as he gets into position. He's going to move to the starboard side of the cruiser here. Actually, let's verify that too with the formation editor. Yes, he'll take position right there. Right now he's right here, so he's got to do a 180.
Buoy away.
Alright, so we just dropped this active sonar buoy here.
Buoy away.
This one should be deep. Yes, okay. So we have shallow and deep active sonar buoys in the center and in the south. In the north we have a shallow active. So here we'll have a deep active. So we can blow the layer. Engage with active sonar buoy. We'll say right here. So shallow active, deep active, and then we're going to put a passive field zigzagging across this entire area. And I think we're ready to start compressing some time here. We have very good field. Alright, so this guy, I'm going to have him RTB. So we can get some fuel up. If I can click in here. There we go. Orders, return to base. Let's make sure Tucker is actually returning.
Track 7009.
Alright, so Tucker is not doing the right thing. I'm going to go ahead and get him out of the formation. Let's go back to real time first. Have Tucker exit formation. There we go.
Buoy away. Roger. Turn 026.
Okay. Let's have him speed up to head standard.
Head standard. Maneuvering eye. Turn to course. 3, 3, 2. Helm eye. Roger. RTB.
Once the Tucker gets into position, I'll start moving the formation again. For now, our frigate can go ahead standard.
Head standard.
Go ahead and secure your active sonar. Head standard, sensors, active sonar off.
Secure active sonar. Sonar eye.
So I'm going to do a tactic called sprint and drift, where we were 5 knots very slow for approximately 7 minutes. I am now going to sprint for 10 and do it again. So let's get up to speed. Let's go ahead and make our speed flank,
Ahead flank.
because we want to cover as much ground as possible in these 10 minutes. And the 10 minutes does not begin until we're up to speed. But luckily we have a very good ship here. This one accelerates very fast. This is the Perry class frigate. It's a very good ship. All right, we're at 29 knots, so we're going to mark the time as 13:07 and 50 seconds. We'll just call it 13:08. So we want to go to 13:18, which is right here. Once we're at that point, we're going to slow down, and it will do it automatically.
Buoy away.
Once I hit that point, the Destination will slow down. If I added another waypoint, it would simply go to the next waypoint. So right now we have our cruiser. He's silent. He's not making any noise. He doesn't have any radars on. And he's just transiting at 6 knots, letting the Tucker, our destroyer, right here, get into position. So I want the Tucker to be up here. The Tucker needs to be going ahead flank.
Ahead flank. Maneuvering eye.
Once Tucker gets up there, I'm going to have him go active as well. But now the Tucker will have a different sonar system. Let's take a look at it. It's a Gearing class Fram 1. It has the SQS-23 hull-mounted sonar.
Buoy away.
And is a low frequency, which means longer range. Passive range is 18 kilometers. Active range is 13. Again, a good sonar system for the day. All right, let's find our helicopters. Here's one. He's still putting his field down. Once this field is down, I'm going to have him RTB. And we have this helicopter here. He is going to be responsible for
Roger.
all things ASW.
282.
I kind of want to get him out here where he's not covered up so much by the text. And,
Roger. Turn.
whoops.
Roger.
Didn't even do that.
280. Buoy away.
I am kind of surprised there's no submarine to the north here. I wonder where they're at.
Buoy away. On station.
Okay. He's dropped his last buoy, so I'm going to have him return to the frigate. Get some more buoys and some gas. There we go, RTB.
Roger. RTB.
And we'll compress a little bit of time here. ASW warfare is also known unofficially as awfully slow warfare. And so we'll be using a lot of time compression to do that. I've been in submarine training scenarios that lasted days. And that's very common. Most of them do. So you need to have a lot of patience with ASW warfare. It's not as fast as any other kind of warfare I'm more familiar with. And Estesin's getting ready to slow down. As soon as she hits her point, we're going to go change to active sonar. And this is that sprint and drift tactic I was telling you about. Tucker's still transiting, but I'm going to have him turn on his sensors.
Transmit active sonar. Sonar up. Surface search on. Radar up. Air search on.
Okay.
Radar high.
All right, he should be slowing down any second now. And when he does, we'll light off his sonar.
On station. Transmit active sonar. Sonar eye.
Let's see if we caught us a submarine here.
Ahead standard. Maneuvering eye.
So whenever you're doing an active sonar search, you don't need to spend a lot of time doing it. I'm going to spend 2 minutes here from 1318 to 1320. And then we're going to speed back up again. Most of your time in a sprint and drift tactic will be sprinting. Okay.
Turn to course. 268 Helm eye.
Let's go ahead and turn off his
Secure
sonar.
active sonar. Sonar eye.
And navigate up to head flank.
Ahead flank. Maneuvering eye.
So what I intend on doing is keeping our cruiser between our frigate and our destroyer. The frigate will be out in front. The Tucker, the destroyer, will be off to the north. And we're going to transit to the east through this line of submarines we're tasked with going through. And looks like we're up to speed, so we want to do another 10-minute leg. I'm just going to put us right about here. 13. That's a 20-minute leg. All right, let's do a 15-minute leg. I want to get to the end of the sonar buoy field. I feel as if we're safe to this point. Let's get Tucker on the right course. His active sonar is transmitting right now, but he's not going to get any returns at this speed. He's almost acting as a decoy, honestly, because the submarines can hear his sonar. So he's probably attracting their attention. Now that he's on course, I am going to slow him down for just a moment, keeping his sonar on.
Ahead 1/3. Maneuvering eye.
I would not be surprised if we get a detection here. And it might be a torpedo. Now this cruiser has some very powerful sonar as well. This is the SQS-26 hull mounted. Low frequency and just an enormous amount of decibels. There is just forward of the magazine here. So right behind the sonar dome itself and below in front of the magazine, which is right here, this area is all amplifiers for the sonar system. So they're going to transmit an enormous amount of power. And I'll have him do that if he gets a little bit closer, because I want to kind of burn through this layer. I'm afraid that our submarines are probably deep. So let's go ahead and let's drop an active sonar buoy deep below the layer. And let's do it right. Let's do it right here. The reason why I'm putting it to the north is this helicopter here, once he's off the deck, is going to be responsible for the area to the south of the group. Okay. I'm going to grab him.
Turn 229.
I want him to run right out here.
Roger. Turn 252.
We're going to have his active sonar buoy below the layer, passive sonar buoys below the layer. I'm pretty confident the submarines that are remaining, if they're in the area, are below the layer, because this frigate here would have seen them if they were in the surface duct, which is the area above the layer but still submerged. This medium frequency sonar travels very well in the surface duct area, so we're sweeping the area above the layer with this active sonar for a very long distance, many miles. It is below the layer that's dangerous.
Buoy away.
So we do have an active buoy out here below the layer. I'm going to go ahead and mark him. Let's get him out away from it.
Roger. Turn 078.
We'll call this 5 nautical miles as well. 5.5. So we have overlapping actives there. I should have put more separation on that. So we have a line of active buoys that overlap. We have a line of deep sonar buoys, passive, creating a fence. We have an active frigate who is going to secure active and get back up to speed.
Flank. Maneuvering eye. Secure active sonar. Sonar eye.
And so we have a pretty good sanitization process for our cruiser to come through pretty safely. Let's make sure his speed is...
Ahead flank.
Let's go ahead flank.
Maneuvering eye.
It's very rare that your escorts will outrun your high-value asset, but that's kind of what's happening here. The sprint and drift is very effective if you're transiting. It's probably the best tactic. If you have somewhere to be, you're trying to keep your speed of advance up, which is your travel distance over time. You want to maintain 15 knots, which means you need to do 20 knots frequently so that you can take a few minutes to slow down below 15 knots and conduct a good sonar search. So you're constantly ramping up speed, slowing back down again, and then doing these searches. This is the life of a sonarman and a weapons officer, everybody that's responsible on the tactical team for defending the fleet, defending the group that you're with, whether it's a fleet or not. Could be a surface action group, could be a flotilla.
On station.
This is what you're doing. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just put another fence up. Let's do a deep fence of passive buoys. Make sure these are deep. They are. And we'll do it right outside the active here.
Buoy away.
Alright, now those buoys are out, we're going to pause or secure our transit
Ahead 1/3.
with the frigate here.
Maneuvering eye.
Light off his sonar system.
Transmit active sonar. Sonar eye.
So our overall journey so far has been quite a ways. It's been 100 nautical miles. So I'm going to call this a successful transit. We discovered our target Charlie. I did expect more than one. Ended up we didn't have more than one. We successfully prosecuted him within the first 30 minutes of the operation. So good stuff. Let's go read our score. Let's see how many points we got. And there we go. We destroyed the Charlie 2. It does say objective incomplete, so there was probably another submarine out there, or we had to go another 100 miles maybe. That was unclear in the mission description. But our score is 1,000%, highest score available. Didn't lose any assets. Conducted and demonstrated a successful ASW search with a submarine prosecution using aviation assets. A very good mission all the way around. This is how you should do it. I'm sure if we had continued for another 100 nautical miles over the next hour or so, we would have maybe seen another submarine and repeated the exact same steps in prosecuting it as you saw here. Anyway, great scenario. And I think it's a good training scenario for learning anti-submarine warfare because you have a couple units with different varying capabilities, including air assets, different types of sonar systems on platforms that operate at different speeds. And it's a lot of fun. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.